Norbert from the Fort St. John and District Palliative Care Society. How are you doing today, Norbert?
I'm doing excellent. And you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. You're here to talk about an advanced care planning workshop, which I believe the first session starts this Wednesday. If I've
That's
got it
correct.
right.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about the advanced care planning. You know what? Actually, it's been a while, Norbert. So we'll start with the society first, actually, if we can, in brief. Tell us a bit about the Palliative Care Society. What do you guys do?
Okay, we are a society whose purpose is to be available to people, really sad to say, but at the end of their lives, generally, right? In addition to that, we also are there for people who have lost somebody, so grieving people. We have programs in place that support that. And it's a very, very important thing in my life. It's a hard thing to talk about, death and dying and loss and grief, but those are realities in our world, and so we're part of that. We also provide some extra service, like the Advanced Care Planning Workshop is an informational thing that we do, right? We also have a hospital bed program, which has just recently improved. So that's been really exciting for us. And finally, we're looking to get a visitation program off the ground. So, you know, people who are in old folks' homes like Peace Villa, that kind of thing, and they're lonely. And so, you know, we want to reach out, spend some time, play some crib, get our butts kicked, that kind of thing, right? and so, in general, that's sort of the direction that the event or the Palliative Care Society goes.
And so with this workshop coming up, can you kind of break it down a little bit and tell us what we can expect from the Advanced Care Planning Workshop? Let me try that again.
Thank you. That's a mouthful. Yeah. So let me just describe a little bit about what advanced care planning is. Generally, we think of that as the green sleeve program, right? Something like The Voice that's put out by the ministry. And it just tells doctors what happens, you know, if you're in an emergency situation where your life is threatened, how you want to be, your medical treatments, that kind of thing.
And
but
it's in a situation where you can't necessarily speak for yourself.
Exactly,
I suppose,
right?
Yeah.
And so, but it's a much bigger thing than that, right? It you know, we talk about two kinds of planning, one before death and one after death. Again, really hard thing to talk about, but that's a reality, right? So before death, you need to let people know about your health kinds of concerns and issues. Then you need to, you know, personal things. What is it that's important to you? What kind of rituals, traditions, you know, those kinds of things, especially in times of need, are very important. We talk about legal issues, you know, all the bits and pieces that go around managing your life in a legal way, and financial, right? And so the workshop that we're starting this Wednesday, we look to touch on that. It's not something where you can come and we will tell you exactly how everything works and lay it all out for you, but instead we talk about the ideas that you should be aware of, right? Like, how do you shut down a life? Which is a weird idea to talk about, but you know, there are lots of things. You need to notify the government. You need to notify your banks. You need to notify, I mean, even social media is part of all that these days. So it's a fairly involved process, and the purpose of this workshop is just to say, be aware.
Is this workshop something you have to register for, or did you just kind of walk in?
No, we ask that you register. We use a piece of software called Eventbrite, right? And so if you're still interested, we'd love to have you join us. Google Eventbrite. It'll come up as a registration service. And then inside that, search for a program called Good to Go. A little bit morbid to say, you know, you're ready to go die kind of thing, but sorry,
fair
I have
enough.
a weird sense of humor.
It's okay. I laughed. That took a second, but it's all good.
Anyways, so, you know, search for that, and it's it'll come up as this program. You can register, and we would love to have you join us. The program's completely free. It's at the college. If you go to several Facebook web pages, including our own, but the seniors page, what's happening in Fort St. John pages, that kind of thing. You'll find information about this, and we'd love to have you join us.
Okay, Norbert, and I think we immediately think, well, this workshop would be for people who might be closer to the age where they have to be thinking about this sort of thing, right? That's right. Not necessarily the case here, right?
Absolutely. More and more, our world gets really complicated at all ages, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you read all the time about, young people having a stroke.
Yeah.
Right? Or really, really much worse, in my opinion, but young people ODing and old people ODing. I'm not saying that's an exclusive thing to young people, but, it's something that affects all ages, right?
I think this is knowledge that could really help a much broader demographic than when we think, towards end of life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think maybe for someone who is maybe seeing a family member or a loved one who is kind of going towards end of life, helping them prepare for that too, so they know how to help their loved ones as well. Sounds right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that, to be a little melodramatic here, there's no greater gift that you can give to your family at a high stress time when you're in trouble, or for yourself for that matter, right? When expressing your own personal wishes. This is what I would like to have happen. This is important to me, right? This is the way this is going to work. And if your family knows that you take a huge burden off their shoulders, right? And if your medical team knows that, you also have, they know that all you want to be do is kept comfortable until the inevitable happens, or no, I want to live at all costs. And we're both at both ends that way, right? And so it's really important. Hard thing to do to say, when I die, what is it I really want to have happen here? But it really is an important thing. There's a saying that goes, a life well planned is a life well lived.
I do have one last question about the workshop. Is this kind of like a one and done, or is this a series of workshops?
This is a short series. It's 3 consecutive Wednesdays, starting this Wednesday at the college. We will cover, the first one will be financial, and Deneen Arnston, I hope I got her name right, from IG Wealth is going to be joining us for that. So she is very, very knowledgeable, really a good place to start. And then Judy Smart from the Palliative Care Society and myself will be offering the next 2, and we'll be touching on some of the other areas we talked about, like the personal, the health side of things, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. All right. So again, you can check for the event on Eventbrite. What was it called again?
Good to go.
Good to go. Okay. You can also check out the variety of Facebook posts that they've been spreading. Again, I've seen them in other groups as well for the link there. Please register for this, whether it's for you, for your parents, for you and your parents, whatever it happens to be. This is very important. Anything else you want to say quick before we let you go, Norbert?
Absolutely. Really quickly, we offer this workshop 3-4 times a year.
Yep.
Right? So if you're interested but you can't make it now, keep in touch with us. One last thing is, if you have any questions about palliative care in any way, contact our office. Our phone number is 250-787-2814.
All right.
We would love to help you in a hard time.
All right, Norbert. It's always a pleasure having you here. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you both so very, very much.